bit of talk of sevila, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. In today's game, it is finished Barcelona 4, Sevilla 0. And you know what? Barcelona ended the game with 9 men. 9 players on the field. We had 2 late red cards. One of them who was making their first team debut, because in the end of this game, it turned into, you all knew that it was coming, the Mattia Lahoz show. He loves to be the centre of attention. He wanted to get his name there, up in lights at the end of this game. 2 red cards. Both of them for me were very harsh, but everything that happened before that, it was a mental game. There was so much going on. Barca have won this 4-0, but for me, again, it wasn't convincing. There's some brilliant goals to discuss. There's things that we still have to improve. And in today's video, in this review, I'm going to try and talk about it all. But the really important thing that I have to do first and foremost, guys, is talk about some players who are trying to work their way and earn their way in this Barcelona team. Because I want to talk here about, you know what, look at the form of Luis Suarez, the goal that he scored once again today. It was a fantastic goal. Somebody like Arturo Vidal earning his spot in the team, working his way back in. And even there's somebody like Ivan Rakitic, who had a few late minutes, he had a few nice touches, coming on there and trying to prove himself. Now, a lot of people will come out and they'll say to Barcelona fans, why do you hate Suarez? Why do you hate Rakitic? Why do you hate Vidal? Why are you so intent on them being subs, when clearly they're good players who can be of clear service to this team? And what I would say to that is this: we don't hate anybody. As Barcelona fans, we don't hate these guys. We don't even dislike these guys. We want them to do well at Barcelona. But what we want is for them to be pushed, for them to be forced to really maximise all of that potential and make them play at their best. You think Suarez is playing well right now just because he wants to, or because he feels right now he's got to play well? He's got Griezmann there, he's got Dembele returning, Messi's back in the team. Suarez here has got to up his level, and we're seeing the results of that. You've seen Vidal there work his socks off on Wednesday against Inter Milan, and now again today getting a goal, doing good things to keep himself in the team. That's what we want. We don't want players who are just going to be cast aside for no reason. We don't want players put on the bench for no reason. We want every single player to earn their place, and that's why for me, if you want to bench Griezmann, if you want to put Suarez in there ahead of him for now, that's fine. Make Griezmann earn his place in that team, play him down the middle, give him a chance, and if he doesn't stay there, if he doesn't play well enough to stay there, then you can put him on the bench. No problem at all. Every player should be treated the same. They should all be working hard, and today once again, we saw the benefits of that, because it was Suarez who opened the scoring with another stunning goal. And it truly was a magnificent finish from Luis Suarez in that first half. It was a brilliant ball, and it has to be so. I'm going to talk about it in a minute, by Nelson Semedo in that left-hand side. He was much, much better today. It was slightly behind Suarez, though, who had to reach for it. And of course, Suarez, being Suarez in these kind of moments, produced a magical overhead kick there. And that was the first goal to Barcelona on 27 minutes. Then followed the second goal, and it was that man Arturo Vidal, again proving that different type of approach in midfield could be of value to Barcelona. He made it 2-0 there thanks to a beautiful pass by Arthur Melo, cutting the lines, timed his run perfectly. Vidal gets on the end of it, slides in, good finish there, makes it 2-0 just 5 minutes later. It was a quick moment there from Barcelona, 2 goals in very short space of time, ready to stick the dagger into Sevilla. And then just a few minutes later, a really good spell in the game. That 10-minute period, Barcelona were very dominant, and that was one of the only stages in the game that we were dominant. It was time for Ousmane Dembele to get himself a goal. Again, Arthur was involved there in the build-up. It was Dembele there with a powerful, pacey run. He's running at pace. You don't know where to go. You don't know whether to go right. You don't know whether to go left. You know that he can go on both sides. Dembele there with a beautiful drop of the shoulder. He leaves his man for dead. And the best part of this, the composure. The composure there to settle yourself down, set yourself, and finish off beautifully. Something there that unfortunately, as the game went on, he could have added to his tally, but he didn't quite have the head. He didn't quite have the cool head, as we saw at the end when he got himself sent off. And of course, in the second half, there was time for one final goal from Barcelona. 3 there in a short space of time in the first half, but it was Messi right throughout the game. He was trying to make things happen. A few times they didn't come off for him, but he was really determined tonight to get himself on the score sheet. He'd had a few free kicks sort of line up his sights, have a little look at where the goalkeeper was going to be, where the wall was going to be. He'd had a few sighters, and in the second half, you just know the free kick master, he's going to get a goal. And it just felt that way When Messi steps up in that kind of range, you're thinking goal, goal, goal. Messi delivered. Barcelona 4, Sevilla 0. But what I have to say is, we scored brilliant goals, some good performances there, and it was great to see Barcelona being so clinical in front of goal, just like we was against Inter Milan. We didn't have many chances in this game. We didn't have an abundance of chances in this game either. But when they came along, we really did take them, and that's great to see. But what we all have to do, what we all have to accept right now, hold your hands up and say, Barcelona, again today, it wasn't convincing. Down the other end, we still have a massive, massive problem. And we can ignore it. We could completely blank the problem. We could say, yeah, Barcelona today, 4-0 winners. It's great. Everything's fine. You know, we kept a clean sheet clearly there. That means we're good defensively. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Barcelona may have won 4-0. But again, that's down to your individual magic, your individual quality there. In the attacking third, we've got very good players. You will score goals. But everything else, it's still a mess. For me, Barcelona today were disjointed. We were wide open at the back. And yeah, you could say there, it's a bit experimental. I think Todibo came in. I think he did well. Semedo, of course, playing on the wrong side. You got Piqué there. You got Sergio Roberto there. Maybe it's not the back line that you'd go with in a big game, but still, it's every game now. Teams come, they have a real go at us. They can carve through us. There's so much space. There's so much time. They can have chance after chance after chance. And you just got to wait, really, until we're in a big game up against a good striker. And you think ahead to the Classico. If we give somebody like Karim Benzema the kind of space tonight that we gave Luke de Jong, if you give him that much time, he will punish us. Tonight, Luke de Jong was horrendous. For Sevilla, he was dreadful. How he can even be called a striker, I don't know. He had 4, I repeat, 4 clear-cut chances, and really clear-cut, not just ones that maybe might have been a goal. 4 chances there where any informed striker is going to put you to bed. He could have left the game with 4 goals to his name because of Barcelona's lax defending. We're very, very open right now. We need to do something about it. We need to address the problem, because if we ignore it, that's going to be fine. You know, we are going to keep picking up wins. We're going to keep scoring goals. But you know that when we're in a big Champions League game, probably away from home, there will be a team, there will be players who will open us up. We don't want that. We want to solve the problem now. Well, we're still winning games. We're still feeling good. We still got confidence. But let's solve that problem, because defensively, there's so much work to do. But before we do go on there to the late red cards in the game, which of course we are going to talk about, let's talk here about the team that started the game and a few individual performances that I do have to discuss. Ter Stegen in that first half pulled off a wonderful save from one of those Luke de Jong chances, and he was the driving force really in behind keeping himself a clean sheet on the night. Like I say, Nelson Semedo here was much, much better tonight, on the wrong side again, but I think he was much more comfortable going forward with Ousmane Dembele playing there ahead of him. That was the real key tonight. Semedo looked so much more comfortable, whether it be on the left or the right, with a natural winger ahead of him, and he was much, much better tonight playing with Ousmane Dembele. Piqué and Todibo at the back. Like I say, Todibo here actually played on the right-hand side. Piqué here came over to the left, and Todibo, I felt, until he went off injured, was very good, very composed. He was happy to receive the ball. He was happy to play the ball. He was no nonsense at times. He got the job done, and he was one of those actually in the defence tonight who did pretty well. Sergio Roberto here at right back, and then in midfield it was slightly different. De Jong was a bit deeper. Arthur Melo here and Arturo Vidal, and I've got to say, I do like the different blend there you've got in midfield. With De Jong here, who's capable, as we know, of bringing the ball out, receiving it under pressure and escaping that pressure. The same there goes with Arthur, but it's the different kind of feel that Arturo Vidal brings to that midfield. With De Jong, with Arthur, you've got brilliant ball players here, but Vidal does give that extra spice, does give you that extra steel in midfield to get forward at times and link up with Suarez, link up with Messi. Even if he's just making runs, maybe we don't pick him out, but he's still dragging defenders one way in that. He's still a distraction there to open up that space for the front three, and I thought again he did really, really well tonight, and we should use him right throughout the season. Messi, of course, was Messi. Then there's Ousmane Dembele, Luis Suarez playing up top. And the thing that I would say actually tonight about Ousmane Dembele, on his performance, he's got a really good goal, fantastic goal, like I say, but you wanted him then to kick on. And I think that's the big thing right now. Dembele, you want more. He's such an exciting player. He's such a talented player. When you score that goal, you wanted to get another one. You wanted to get another one. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to get more and more and more confidence in a Barcelona shirt. But again, he didn't really kick on. And I felt that frustration really in that red card. It was a last man tackle. Araujo there, the man who came on to make his Barcelona debut. I think it was really harsh. He does have a little tiny tug on the shirt there of Chicharito. He throws himself to the floor. It's a delayed fall. It is a delayed fall, much like you saw maybe in the Liverpool game when Mane had that contact, then went down a few seconds after. It was a bit like that. Araujo there given a straight red by Lahoz on his debut, and then Dembele was very unhappy, and he'd already been booked earlier on in the game for dissent. He had a yellow already, and so Mathieu Lahoz was having none of it. He singled out out Dembele there and gave him a straight red card, which of course is bad news for Barcelona. He's going to miss the game against Eibar, which could even now bring his participation against Real Madrid into question. And again, just when Dembele gets a goal, there's another setback. Not what we wanted, not what we needed, right at the end of the game. And believe me guys, overall tonight there is so much to discuss, so difficult actually to summarise it all into one single match review. Maybe we'll be talking about this game in more detail, of course. Now it is the international break. There will be more videos coming up though. There will be more discussion on this game and what we can do to improve defensively. That's the big thing here. What can we do? How can we solve that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the defensive issues, but also those fantastic goals. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.
Barça! Barça!